Hi folks, my name is Najah Muhammad and I am hosting College Kitchen. As you can tell, I'm here alone without young Gabe Gibbs. He stood me up. We were supposed to have a beautiful date here at the Taza Chocolate Factory in Somerville, Massachusetts. Well, guess what, Gabe? You're missing out on a whole lot of chocolate. And yes, that's a double entendre, but you know what? I've got chocolate. So I don't need you. Follow me. I'm here at Taza Chocolate Factory with Krisha, my chocolate guide. Krisha, can you tell us a little bit about what you do with yourself here at the Chocolate Factory?
Sure. So my main job is to actually give tours of our chocolate factory, as well as I just sling chocolate for a living. So this is my most favorite part.
Yes.
Not only in our storefront here at the factory, but also at farmers markets locally.
How did you first start the business here in Boston?
One of our founding members is from this area originally, took a trip to Oaxaca, Mexico, drank some drinking chocolate that tastes just like what you're about to taste today, fell in love with it, became a little obsessed with it, and decided he wanted to make it for himself. He paired up at the time with his girlfriend and another gentleman who they all just sort of collaborated and began the business back in 2006. This particular space that you're about to see today was actually built out in 2010. So we've been in this particular space since 2010.
Almost 4 years now then.
Yep.
Now, what would you say makes Taza Chocolate unique? What sets it different than everything else?
We are making an organic, stone ground Mexican style chocolate. We are getting our beans direct trade also. I'll explain more about what that means. But it's seriously good chocolate that's fair and good for all.
Fair and good for all.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And now, I'm a vegan personally. Is this type of chocolate I can eat, or does it have milk chocolate in it or anything like that?
We are absolutely a vegan product. We're dairy-free, gluten-free, and soy-free. We're also, again, 100% organic and kosher. In addition
Kosher
to that.
So you're just user-friendly for everybody?
Most people. The only thing we are not is we are not a nut-free facility. So for those that have nut allergies, should stay away from our chocolate.
Yeah, absolutely. Now,
but you feel free to give it to your friends and family.
You personally, do you ever take the chocolate home and bake with it or anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. I most recently used our Fire Puncher flavor, which is a 2-chili blend of chipotle and ancho chilies. So it's got a little smokiness and a little spice to it. Ooh. I added that to a pot of chili.
To a pot of
a chili. I made a turkey chili with beans and tomatoes and all kinds of stuff, and I added some of that Fire Puncher chocolate in there, and it was absolutely delicious.
Amazing. So it sounds like you added a little bit of sweetness to some
savory.
Some nice savory, yeah. Well, speaking of sweetness, I'm going to go ahead and check out Sweet Talk, see what they're doing today.
I'm Kyle Kay with Sweet Talk on College Kitchen, and I'm here with you today at Taza Chocolates in downtown Boston on Newbury Street, one of the best chocolate shops around. So, without further ado, let's give it a shot.
Taza Chocolates is a family chocolatier out of Zurich, Switzerland, where we have been making fresh chocolates for 80 years in the Zurich area. We're a traditional Swiss-style chocolatier. Our specialty, our signature piece, is the champagne truffle, and I happen to be standing right here. It's our best seller for about 70 years. It has a hint of Dom Perignon in there, so it combines champagne and chocolate, two of the most romantic aspects of food and drink, and that is an unbeatable combination.
What I'm going to try here is the butter crunch. So it has a toffee shell, so I'm told. The toffee shell is nice and crunchy around the outside, but the butter in the middle just cements the chocolate. Simply fantastic. Dark chocolate champagne. As you can see here, it has like a teardrop shell to it, and the champagne is right there with the chocolate on the top surrounding it. It's a great mix between the flavor, distinct flavor of the champagne and the chocolate at the same time. This is Kyle Kay at Taza Chocolates, signing off. Back to you.
A little bit more about our beans. So our Bolivian beans or Dominican beans have very different flavor profiles. There is a term in French called terroir. What that term really refers to is that anything that is organic and grows out of the earth will take on the flavor of the earth from which it comes. And so that is absolutely true of course, the beans. And since we're getting them from two different countries, two very different kinds of regions, one in South America and the other in the Caribbean, they taste very different from each other. So the Bolivian beans are growing in a more forested area and more covered a little bit, and so they actually take on a more dark and earthy, almost smoky flavor. The beans that are growing in the Dominican Republic, as you can imagine, the Caribbean is nice and airy and breezy and bright. The beans actually take on a very fruity flavor, almost sweet, naturally sweet on their own up front. So For our Bolivian beans right now, the only product that we use with those beans is our 87% bar. That's our darkest chocolate bar. Everything else that we make is made from our Dominican beans. So you're gonna taste that in our chocolate. There's a fruitiness up front that you don't always taste in dark chocolates, and which I think is really special about our beans and our chocolate. We love to repurpose at Taza. We consider ourselves a beautifully sustainable company, and we repurpose, we recycle wherever possible, we acquire recycled materials, we acquire biodegradable materials wherever possible, we compost when we can and when it's possible. And so as you can see, we love to repurpose vintage machinery here. Both of these machines were built in the 60s, our red roaster in Germany and our white winnower in Italy. So where we're going to begin is by roasting our raw beans. We're going to load them into our roaster here in the hopper. We can hold about a bag and a third of beans in there at a time. So from there, after that about an hour in there, it's going to get dropped down to the cooling bin with a big paddles in there that are going to mix those beans around, helping to facilitate the cooling process for about 20 minutes, and then they're going to be loaded here into the winnower. Inside this shaft, it works like a conveyor belt with little scoops attached to it. It's going to, like an elevator around it, it's going to scoop little bunches of beans up. It's going to hit this part of the super technical part of the machine called the bean breaker. It's going to shatter the bean into a bunch of different pieces. In here there's a fan. As the airflow hits those shattered pieces, the lighter shell is going to get blown to the back of the machine, and we're going to actually collect it back there in barrels.
So Taz is doing really good with their greens. Let's see what Ben Stoll's doing with green goods.
Thanks guys, Ben Stoll here, and on this episode of College Kitchen, Greens Goods is bringing you to my kitchen for a brunch special that'll consist of dishes that'll wow your friends, family, and loved ones. Today our brunch is going to consist of 3 courses: our home-style potatoes, my take on a frittata, and tasty cakes, which is my little twist on pancakes, but I'll get into that a bit later. We're going to start with the potatoes because they take the longest to cook. Here I have a bowl of 3 pounds of red fingerling potatoes that I cut into quarters, and what I'm going to mix in are 2 red peppers, 2 green peppers, and an onion and a half. When you chop these up, you kind of want it to be rough. You don't want it to be super fine because it's supposed to be kind of rustic. Alright, and then after that, you're going to want to add 4 cloves of garlic, as well as a half a stick of melted butter. Lastly, a 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. Now comes the fun part. You get to mix it all with your hands. Just a little bit of salt and a little bit of crushed black pepper. So now that everything's in the bowl and all seasoned, we're going to get it on our baking trays. I've preheated the oven to 400 degrees, so we're going to put these 2 guys in and we're going to wait about 20 to 25 minutes. And after that, we're going to crank the oven to 500 degrees and then wait another 20 to 25 minutes. Now we're going to work on our frittata. What I like to do with my frittatas is I like to load them with a bunch of veggies and then blend them, mainly because it brings a very unique flavor as well as a very unique texture. You can really put whatever you want in your own frittata. Personally, I like to put 2 eggs with a handful of spinach, a handful of mozzarella cheese, as well as, 7 or 8 cherry tomatoes. Once that's all blended, you're going to want to grease a medium-sized skillet, pour it all in. So while we have our potatoes and our eggs cooking, off to the pancake. Like I said, I do pancakes a little bit differently. I like to call them tasty cakes, and what they consist of are vegan pancake batter with cinnamon, lavender, and blueberries. So just like any ordinary pancake batter, you're going to want to start with 2 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, and a tablespoon and a half of olive oil. Once you have all those ingredients in the bowl, you're going to grab your electric mixer or just a whisk and mix it all together. And while you mix it, you want to incorporate your blueberries and your lavender. While our last pancake is finishing up, I took our frittata off the pan, and as you can see, it's super fluffy on the inside. So once that's done, we're gonna add our pancakes, and our potatoes should be done right about now. They're definitely done. Perfect. So now that potatoes are good to go, we're gonna add them to our beautiful display. There you have it. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen. I hope what you saw today inspired you to get into yours. As always with Green Goods, I'm Ben Stoll. Thanks for watching.
I'm Najah Muhammad. I'm here at Taza Chocolate Factory with Krisha, my chocolate guide. You personally, do you ever take the chocolate home and bake with it or anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. I most recently used our Fire Puncher flavor, which is a 2-chili blend of chipotle and ancho chili, so it's got a little smokiness and a little spice to it.
Ooh.
I added that to a pot of chili.
To a pot of
A chili, I made a turkey chili with beans and tomatoes and all kinds of stuff, and I added some of that Fire Puncher chocolate in there, and it was absolutely delicious.
amazing. So it sounds like you added a little bit of sweetness to some
savory.
nice
Yeah.
savory, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to invite you guys to try some of our Mexicano disc as a drinking chocolate. This is a beautiful blend of our cinnamon and our orange flavors.
Cinnamon and orange.
Yes.
Now, in terms of my senses, right? Let's say I'm feeling a little bit like down, you know, maybe having trouble in paradise with boys. Do you think this would kind of lift my spirits
Oh,
up a little?
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to give you a little bit of that fruity sweetness. It's going to give you a little bit of that spice that we all need.
That's right. Who needs a man?
That's right.
We just need this.
Enjoy. Uh-oh.
Oh, this is delicious. I literally, I feel like
Yeah,
I'm
you
in
feel
love
it?
all over again.
See, there you go. That's what we like to hear.
So right here we've got Taza Chocolate's Fire Puncher. They say that it's fiery, it's got a kick to it. It's good to add to any chili dishes or even just to have on its own. So I'm gonna try it out real quick. Woo! Certainly fiery. I definitely need a glass of water after this. You know what, we're gonna go ahead and check out Man Foods where they're trying some fiery barbecue of their own.
Guys, what's up? Welcome back to Man Food. I'm your host, Morgan Linewall. We're hanging out in Seaport, Boston at Larry J's Barbecue Cafe. He's going to show us around in the kitchen. He's going to show us at the counter and how he makes some of the best barbecue in Boston. Let's go check him out.
Hi, welcome to Larry J's Barbecue Cafe, located at 600 D Street, South Boston at the waterfront. If you're feeling your need for barbecue, come on in, get your queue on. I grew up in LA, lived in different parts of California, met my wife while she was on vacation in California, and I ended up here. I'm the new kid on the block, and so we're making our name for ourselves down here at the Seaport. It's Texas-based barbecue, and we stick by it. We stack it up against anybody. That means anybody in the neighborhood. You talk to anybody who smokes meat, they'll tell you it's the love that goes into it. That's a great part of it, but I'm a stickler for detail. From my rub to the finished product is what I put me into it. We have our standard house barbecue sauce. I probably make about 20, 30 gallons a week. I go through a lot. This is something on a different side of our menu. You could call it the B side of the menu. We have a pork shank, which we call hog wings, and then we have the end pieces of the brisket, which we call burnt ends. Comes with a dipping sauce. This is Arkansas red, and for the pork shank, a sweet chili sauce. Knock yourself out.
Oh, I will. All right, so first up is the hog shank.
Hog wing.
Oh my gosh, okay. All right. My mother told me not to talk with my food in my mouth, but I don't want to try right now. So, the inside of it is the most tender thing I think I've ever bitten into. Oh my gosh. So next, we have the burnt ends, which are the ends of the brisket. And I was sworn to secrecy how these are made. I can tell you if they're delicious or not, which I think they will be, but I can't tell you how they're made. So, try this guy. All right, this one's different. The first one was really tender, off the bone. This is a little bit tougher. and really makes for it. I think this is, with this little sugar fat right there, I really think this makes it, and the ends of it, you can really tell.
Well, these are some of our famous side dishes. My wife's mac and cheese and cornbread. Can't beat it.
Thank you for some of the best barbecue I've not only had in Boston, but I think I have ever had. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
All right, guys, we just got done hanging out with Larry at Larry J's Barbecue Cafe here in Seaport, Boston. He's located at 600 D Strip. You've got to come check him out to have some of the best barbecue you're going to have here in Boston. I'm Morgan. This is Man Food. See you next time.
Hey y'all, welcome to Cooking with Catherine. On tonight's episode, we're throwing a party. So I'm going to teach y'all my 3 steps to having the best food at your holiday shindig. Step 1 is to remember the 3 S's. Salty, sweet, and so many calories. Chips and queso, pretzels, sweet and salty snack mix, and my favorite, stroopwafel. Step number 2 is appearance. You want to display all of your snacks out in the best way on festive plates. Make them look pretty because it's all about appearance. We're going to take these chips, put them in this beautiful blue bowl here. We're going to make some sweet and salty trail mix. So you're going to want to pour some of that in. Pretzels. And finally, your sweet. You're just going to want to put that out on a bowl, make it nice and pretty. Step 3 is the most important step. It's to not eat all the food before your guests arrive, because then they will be real sad if they show up to a party and there is nothing to eat. Well, it looks like my friends aren't coming to this beautiful holiday party that I have worked so hard on. These 3 steps will help you throw the best party. It's all on a college student budget, so whether you're looking to throw a holiday shindig or just a big old college party, this is the way to do it. You won't spend much money. So thanks for watching Cooking with Catherine. See y'all later.
All right, folks, I'm Najah Muhammad here with College Kitchen. Thank you for watching our last episode of the season. I'm here at Taza Chocolate Factory. I had a great time. I learned that organic is always better, and I learned that it takes a strong woman like me to be able to leave a man for chocolate. Gabe, I'm no longer sad because I ate a lot of chocolate. Thanks for watching, folks, and have a great day.